Hey guys, it's Rachel Castille, and I'm here to introduce my amazing business partner, Isaiah Chilian. He's going to share his story today of how he discovered this company, why he chose to build here, and just his overall journey, like what drew him to online business and his heart for business. Yeah, we're just going to get into his story. Yeah, so Isaiah, I'll just start with this. We met through my husband's ministry, and he's had such a heart for community that always stood out to me. And yeah, he really is a visionary leader, and I just want him to start wherever he wants to share. So, yeah.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, I just shared this to my profile. All right. All distractions aside. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, my name is Isaiah Chilian. I'm 31. I was born and raised in Canada in a small town. And it's funny, like, yeah, there's so much to say, but to really hone in on what I feel on my heart to share, let's just say I grew up in a Christian home. I grew up with really strong values on giving to God and then also just being really generous with your time, with your energy, and with your money. And my parents have always been super generous. So that's been passed down to me from a very early age. And you know what? In high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I had all these questions, all these desires. What I really wanted to do was music. And we'll touch more about that later on in this discussion.
For sure.
But I decided to actually go and study theology for 4 years. I thought I was doing God's work. I thought I was going to be really, helping a lot of people. And I was. I was helping as a youth pastor for a couple years. It was a fantastic experience. I was able to really help students avoid self-harm, to avoid anxiety and depression and all that stuff. I just knew that I had some kind of a humanitarian within me. I really just wanted to help people. And I was always frustrated. I felt there was something lacking. I just didn't have enough like oomph, in lack of a better word, where I realized with having more finances, you can make like that's one thing where you can make a really big difference, where you have the actual tools. And then number two is the voice, having the message deep inside of you. And all my life, I've been kind of discovering what that message really is. And I'm still discovering what that is. But let me tell you something for free. The easiest way to figure out your voice and your message is found in a place of rest. It's found in a place where you're able to just sit back, push pause on the microwave society where everything is go, go, go. So when you do that, I've discovered that you can get really in touch with your heart to find and figure out what matters, what really matters to you. What do you believe in? And not just what you believe in, but what are you willing to do for those beliefs? How far are you willing to go? There's this really, really popular marketer online. His name is Grant Cardone. I love this expression. He said, "You got to be able to run on glass to get the bag." So, what does he mean by that? Well, you have to do whatever it takes. You have to take risks. So, I decided to take a risk in my journey. I decided, after I stepped down as a youth pastor, I felt this natural pull, this natural, God was transplanting me outside of that space into a space of taking a sabbatical. Actually, you can call it that. I didn't even realize it was happening as, 1 month goes by, 2 months goes by, 3 months. And then I really realized it's like, wow, like I stepped down from this and I even quit my job because I knew that I wanted to do business. Ever since ever since my first year in Bible school, I knew that I wanted to do business. But I was powering through to do what I thought I had to do what I thought people told me that I had to do to a degree, you know? So about a year ago, I quit my job And I didn't really know what kind of business I wanted to jump into. Like, I took a few chances here and there. I made a few leaps of faith and fell every time, fell flat on my face so hard. It was so frustrating, right? Like, could you imagine, like, you're building something up, like you have this baby, and I had three of them, and they all died. So
Oh man.
it was pretty sad, right?
It is.
The first business was selling ebooks on Amazon Kindle, and that was really fun. Very low ticket, like bottom of the low ticket pricing,
Yeah.
because that's just the thing with ebooks. Very cool business model. I learned a lot from it. I love the email list,
Hmm.
part of that business. So
Mhm.
it's cool. Like, God is just taking me on this journey, and like nothing goes to waste. Nothing is
Yeah.
wasted. Nothing is ever like, oh, that was such a waste of my time. Like, no. God has been really teaching me to reframe my past,
Mhm.
and to tell me, even like me becoming a youth pastor, it wasn't a waste of time. It was worth it. It was worth the experience. It was
Mhm.
worth getting to know those people. I still love those people. I really cherish those people in my heart. And I've been reaching out to some of them since um, coming out of seclusion from social media. I'm back online because
Mhm.
I thought my voice didn't matter. I was such in a weird headspace where I just thought, you know what, like, social media is not for me. I don't see the point of it. I don't like it when people are taking pictures of food. People call it like food porn, and it's just like, I don't want to see that, you know. It's funny. But anyway, I tried a few businesses.
Mhm.
It didn't work out. So then I decided, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get a full-time job, work my 40 to 50 hours a week, and plug into the 9 to 5. And I did that. And I was in seclusion in four walls essentially. And it wasn't even an office job. It was I was a packer at VG Meats where I live in town. It's a butcher shop where
Mhm.
they manufacture. Great experience. You know, we'd hear all the pigs, all the cows. Um, they said lots of things during their time there, but
Okay.
anyway, it was a good experience because I've always been a leader. So I was like ranking up in the business, whether it was raises and then going from just, a grunt to like a supervisor and then like a team lead.
Mhm.
So but leadership has always been within me. I've always wanted to lead my own team. Even the second business that I tried, I was on school.com, SKOOL.
Mhm.
Great platform to learn about marketing, about anything like chess,
Mhm.
tennis,
Mhm.
reducing your golf swing like down a few swings, like just all that
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, and I see the value in that still, but it just wasn't the right timing. So timing is a really big factor
Yeah.
in the amalgamation of my life and how I've been led to you, Rachel, how I've been led to this company that we're working for, where it's changed everything. In
Mhm.
fact, I even received a couple checks in the mail. I was doing an
Yeah.
open an opening of my envelope,
Yeah, man.
and I'm like, oh, like my eyes were like, huh? And they got really big in the video because like I was taking a video. I'm like, oh, an Enagic check. I want to take a video of this.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Let's get back on
I was
topic.
the
So
same. I lost it at the mailbox.
yeah, I was so excited, right? But anyway, so despite failing all these businesses, it was still a learning experience, and it wasn't the right timing. So, right place, um, like business, but wrong time. But the
Mhm.
right place is business for me, and for a lot of you watching. That the right place for you is business, because in certain businesses, especially the one that Rachel and I are working in, there's not really a cap to finances. There's not really a restriction. And I was feeling so restricted in my 9 to 5. I was feeling used. I was feeling like just a number. Like I felt like I had a barcode on the back of my neck, and I'd be scanning in and scanning out, and it would feel like I'm just a product for this family business, for these people, not my family, my family business, but the butchers. So as I was working in all of these different places, I was really, you know, when I was able to step back for a year, I was able to look at my values and to see, okay, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. That's one value that I have. Like, I want to shave it down to like a 9 to 12 or a 9 to 2, but not a 9 to 5. I'm
Yeah.
done with that. I want more free time. I want ways to better my health. I want more travel freedom. And with this business, we can work remotely anywhere, no matter where you are. All you need is a phone or a computer and internet to make four figures per
Yeah.
sale in this job. And like you can do that in a few other places, but in this community, I just want to like touch on that just a little bit.
Yeah.
The
Flow wherever you
community,
feel. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the community is so powerful. It's a place where you get to discover your voice. It's called The Foundry. It's led by an amazing woman named Kelsey Little, and she has a couple business partners, Kendra and Stephanie, amazing women,
Amazing.
where they're all making like just crazy money, but the way that they do it, like they all have different methods, right? But I noticed with Kendra and Kelsey, it's a lot from the heart, a lot from the identity, from locking into your purpose. And like all three of those amazing women, they do that. But there was something about Kelsey where, well, let me tell you the story actually. Like, let's talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Like I want to talk about the community so badly, but I have to give some preface to this. So
Yeah.
Rachel reached out to me as I was waiting on God. I was praying and praying. You know, I wasn't crying out on my hands and knees, like, you know, like, oh God, like what am I supposed to do? But I was seriously like, God, what am I? What is my purpose? What is my future career? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? And I was just on my bed and I pulled a few all-nighters here and there. I was really serious about this. Guys, if you want to go after something with all your heart, like just do it. Especially when it comes to figuring out what you want. Because how can you figure out what you want when you're so darn busy? When you all you do is think about work. You go to bed, you think about work. You're spending time with your spouse or your friends, you're thinking about work. Guys, like that's the thing about this job too. You're able to actually like unwind a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Rachel reached out. She sent me this masterclass, and it was a huge answer to prayer for me because you know I was just praying and praying, and I heard four things from God at different times during my 12-month sabbatical. I heard, "What do you want to do?" And that was God saying to me, essentially, I give you permission to choose your career. And I'm not saying that's for everybody. But for me, like God was just like at first I was angry, actually. I want to say that. I was really frustrated because I'm like, doesn't God not give specific answers when we're asking him for answers? And I'm just getting the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So anyway, I realized that, yeah, I've been given permission and I've been given the green light to go for business because I was asking about business as well. And that was a beautiful thing. Then Rachel reached out, sent me this masterclass. I saw Kelsey, Stephanie, and Kendra. But when Kelsey was talking, there was a phrase that she said, and it was like, guys, I don't know who needs to hear this, but she said something, but she said, guys, I don't know who needs to hear this. But I could tell she was speaking from a place where she's connected. She's really connected to a message that she just instinctively knows through inside, a message that people need to hear. And I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want to do that for people too. I want my voice to matter. I know my voice matters. And guys, your voice matters too. Your voices are so, so strong, so powerful. Whether it's gentle, robust, whether it's humorous, whatever way you convey yourself, whatever your demeanor flows naturally. Like mine's pretty chill. Mine's very like, I'm not really in your face that often. I'm more like, guys, I have a cool message. You might want to listen to this. It might change your life. Like that's kind of my vibe, right? But when I was listening to Kelsey, I realized that I wanted to be connected with this person, with this high class businesswoman who has made over $600,000+ in less than 2 years, and she's made a ton of money. All three of them, Kendra and Stephanie, they've made a lot doing other stuff too, right? But there's something about high ticket where you can almost do the same amount of work and make 4 to 5 figures, and then have the time for your hobbies, have the time for the projects that you really want to pour your energy into. Am I right? And for me, that's music. Like, because of this business, I want to make an album, a musical album, whether it's just an instrumental, whether it's singing and just acoustic, whether it's a full band. I don't know, but I have all of these deep desires that have been kind of seeded inside of me, and I feel them, they're not ready to be birthed yet entirely, but the beautiful thing when you have all this time on your hands, you're able to sit back and actually dream. Isn't that nice? Like, you to have a job where you don't have to work 8 or 10 hours a day. You can actually work even just 4 hours a day. And that's what Kelsey said on one of her, I think it wasn't a masterclass. I think it was a workshop. She said, guys, if you really want to be like me, because she has 6 kids, she has a husband, she has pets, clients,
a farm, animals.
yeah, that's incredible about the farm. I'm so happy. I'm really just ecstatic for her. I'm so happy. To see where she is, because she says like that she's still in this beginning stages. She's like, I still feel like a baby, in the high ticket industry. And me over here, I feel like I'm still a fetus or whatever. I'm just starting. So anyway, but I watched the masterclass and I knew right away, okay, wow, first of all, these products are amazing. They're phenomenal. I mean, water. Like, everybody needs this product. It doesn't matter, where you are in life. Like, even if people like can't afford it right away, there's always a method. Especially when you have the message that we're able to share. The message is what really transforms hearts and softens people's, their heart and their mind to actually be open to what you have to say. Because everybody wants to make a sale. Everybody is selling something online. And guys, if you're not already selling something online, you gotta sell something. This is the new wave. This is the new industry where we're not just selling knowledge anymore. We're selling, I think it's relationships. I think it's community. People are so lonely. I was so lonely for the longest time. And when I finally made the decision to pull the trigger and to sign up, I felt less lonely because, I'm surrounded by friends in my hometown, in my community. But I want to be surrounded by high class, high vibe, where their frequency is up here, where they believe in themselves. There's no poverty mindset in this community. And, not to bash my community in my hometown, but that's just, a lot of people don't really have that. A lot of people just, they're preached and taught of what's in the government, of what's in their local schools, saying, guys, you have to make money a certain way. It has to be done by this method, and it's sort of the only way. So I really don't like the school education infrastructure. I want to change that. That's a part of my vision. That's a part of my goal, actually, in life, to have my own website where I can provide education, where it's digestible, where they can think for themselves, to think outside the box, to create what they want to create. You know, and if they want to be a doctor or a lawyer, that's fine. We need those types of like white collar and the blue collar jobs too. We need those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But not enough people know that they have a creator within themselves. And I'm not talking just about God. I'm talking about you yourselves. Even
Yeah.
like, you know, not to get hyper religious or anything, but
Tell
even
it.
even Yeshua, you know, in the Bible, he's saying, did you not know that ye are gods? And that really stands out to me. To and that's actually been a huge marker for my life, where I didn't really realize, wow, like I have so much freedom and creativity, where sometimes God just wants to sit back and watch his children move, watch his children take the reins for once, to actually take control and change their lives, to make the impact that they've always dreamed that they can make. But for some strange reason, they're always asking permission. But guys, this is my message to you. You don't need permission to say yes to opportunities that will actually change your life. You don't need to wait to, you know, get the job that you want. And even a part of my story, Rachel, I know I'm talking and talking and talking, but
I love it.
I
Yeah.
could, I could talk forever. Just thinking, I was actually on your live today for a bit, near the halfway point and on. You talked about the Exodus. And I was like, oh my God, the Exodus. That is, let me explain. What is the Exodus?
Yeah.
So, for me personally, I've always been able to say no to certain people, where there were people who were always, you know, asking and peer pressure trying to get me to do certain things. Um, and even like, but what I'm talking about is actually just saying no to the 9 to 5. I was able to have an exodus and exit a value that I no longer valued.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some values, even in prayer, I'm spending time, you know, with Elohim, with the Trinity, and the family members of God, and they're sharing with me, God, like Isaiah, what are the energy givers in your life? What are the energy drainers in your life? And really hone in on those things. So I was able to cut out just a bunch of garbage, a bunch of values that I thought were actually contributing to my life, to my happiness, to my joy, to my rest, to my peace, to my ability to create and fellowship, in true happiness with people.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I had to exit. So guys, I want you to think about, what are some things that you need to exit in your life? It might be, you know, it might be certain friendships, right? It might be, you know, certain mentalities that you have. Like, how many thoughts in your day are actually giving you life, are actually making you feel good? Because, guys, everybody, you have to feel good in this life. This life is not meant to struggle always. Like, yeah, there are times where there's challenges. Without challenges, how can you grow? But I'm just saying, the majority of the time since working at Enagic, like, yeah, there's been some ups and downs. Like, I'm still working through my identity. It's like, always, is this content good enough?
Yeah.
What are people going to say about this content, right?
Yeah.
But it's such a growth experience, where I'm able to have an exodus with an old identity, where there was so much fear, there was so much guilt, there was so much shame of feeling not enough, feeling like my voice didn't carry enough oomph, enough weight,
Yeah.
enough of an impact to really reach out to people. But Kelsey has done something to myself and to Rachel and
Mm-hmm.
to the 100 plus people in the Foundry.
Yeah.
Um, and there's an amazing section. There's one channel where it's activate your belief, speak upon why you believe in what you believe, and let your belief really speak to other people. Don't just duplicate. You know, a lot of people in business, we duplicate, we try and copy and paste. I'm not about that. I want freedom. I don't just want financial freedom and creative freedom. I want freedom to not be censored. So
Mm.
if you felt censored on social media, if you felt censored in any way, shape, or form in your life, sometimes there's a business, guys. Like, this business helps you to uncensor, to really tap into your identity, to
Yeah.
really make you think, okay, what kind of people do I want to impact? Because a lot of these amazing um, women, and some are men too, but a lot of these people are, they know who they want to reach out to, and that's so important. We have to think, like, who is my message for? And
Mhm.
even if you don't have that, that's okay. You don't need all the answers before starting a business, especially starting this one, where,
Yeah.
we're just jumping in. And I love just, people who go live and they just share from their hearts. They just share whatever they feel needs to be manifested and reach
Yeah.
out. And the beautiful thing about social media, it's out there to impact not just 100 people, not just 200, but yeah, some of y'all have over 1,000 and 2,000 friends, which is kind of, it's insane. But it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I just, when I saw the products, I was like, you know what, sign me up. I want to take some action. I want to change my life. I don't want to be the same. I don't want to wake up feeling the same as I was a year from now.
Mm.
I don't know if any of you feel that way, but I certainly did. A couple months ago when I was really contemplating, I was actually waiting for Rachel, um, because I was ready to go. Like, she sent me the masterclass. We watched it even together
Yeah.
another time, and we were just like really amped. We were taking notes, thinking about the compensation plan, thinking about the products, um, all that, and I was ready. I was like, you know what, like, I have the funding. I worked for a few years. I had a nice little nest egg settled and ready to pull from, to really jump into this. So, yeah, and I was waiting for Rachel for, I think it was a couple of weeks or so.
Like 2 weeks. Yeah. I was like in
Yeah.
the process of mine being given to me, and man, just amazing. I love all that you're sharing. I want you to talk more about since joining, like the growth and the actual work of doing the business. Like um help people see, like, what do we do? Like, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the growth and what do we do? Wow. Well, the growth for me, it's really been, so my first post was this. It was like, guys, I'm coming out. Not out of the closet, but I'm coming out of hiding, because I
Yeah.
was hiding for so long. I was hiding my voice. I was hiding my face. I was hiding my essence. And since joining the Foundry, I've been really learning to tap into that and utilizing Facebook stories to, as the playground, in a sense, to really figure out my voice, to figure out what I'm supposed to do. And yeah, Kelsey has so much awesome advice on how to do that. So for me, it's been a lot of just shedding my skin and being comfortable in the new me,
Hmm.
getting to know my likes, my dislikes, taking chances, learning the concept of trying new things, pivoting. Don't do just insanity. Don't just do the same thing over and over again and then expecting different results. Really take the time to analyze what you're doing, because one of the most impactful things that I've learned in this business is that your business shows you the results of your voice.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
true.
Yeah, so, like, the numbers, they don't lie. If you guys are getting lots of reactions, if people are watching your stories, your message is actually reaching out to people, especially when, like, for me, a lot of these people on Facebook, I've known them from different pockets of my life. And then I'm just coming back and they're all seeing me. And there's an element of trust where it's like, oh, yeah, I know Isaiah. Like, I knew him a while back from high school or from Bible college or, from work, different workplaces. So yeah, it's a lot of just identity. Let's see, really stepping into joy.
Joy. Yeah.
Joy. Yeah,
Yeah.
showing up with joy.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed at my last workplaces, I'd wake up and I just want to hit snooze. I didn't want to show up to work.
Yeah.
I was frustrated. I felt like I was caged. But
Yeah.
in this business, I'm learning like, wow, like I can make my own schedule. I can have freedom with what I want to post. And I love our business meetings with you, Rachel,
Hmm.
where I'm in your private server with what you're starting. Um, and I see it as a way to like, it's kind of to supplement the foundry, right? But it's also
Yeah.
to really ignite the fire within yourself.
Yeah.
There's a new concept that
Yeah.
you're bringing
Yeah.
with your own group, because
Yeah.
you're starting your own community
Yeah.
for business. And I'm loving the voice notes, guys. I just want to hype up Rachel just for a second and just
Oh,
say, like, guys, yeah, I am learning a lot in the foundry too, but
for
I'm
sure.
learning um, to go step in step with somebody who's in the same field, somebody who actually cares about me, somebody who doesn't treat me like a number or just, another person. Like I feel the individuality and I feel celebrated working with Rachel. I feel celebrated working with Kelsey too. It's
For
cool. Like
sure.
I feel like we're working with celebrities
Yeah.
almost. And you have access to all these really like high class
Yeah.
people. And what was the second half of your question again? I kind of forgot.
It was like the growth and then like the work. So
The
yeah,
work.
you basically answered that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually want to insert a bit about Firestarters since you brought it up. Like
Yeah.
something I love. Like I'll share a conversation I had with Kelsey. So I've been in all these different companies, different spaces, and we were talking about the fact that within a team, in other situations, like you're kicked out if you start something, if you're birthing what your vision is. And we were talking about like what healthy business looks like. And this analogy came to me of like we're visiting each other's living rooms, and like I'm like, come and see what you're doing. And like this is what they're giving out. They're giving like the wisdom that they carry, what they've learned. And
Mhm.
Isaiah, you encouraged me in this so much because I had this fear. Like you helped break this off of me. I was like, I don't want like what is if I'm starting something, is that like a reflection as though I'm like breaking off? I don't want to imply that. And I talked to Kelsey about it. It was just like the most freeing conversation that
Mhm.
like this is what it looks like. We're all leaders collaborating together, creating a space to host what we carry and what we can give, and we can pop in and visit each other's world. And like we're gleaning from one another and sharing. And this
Mhm.
vision like led to Firestarters being birthed. I got that word. I've always had this word. Like years ago, people would always be prophesying, you're a fire starter, you're going to run, you're going to do this, you're going to set all this ablaze. And things that took you years to get free from, you're going to break it off in a day, like all this sort of stuff. And I've been going through a lot of refinement too. And over like the last few years, and then looking at Kelsey building a container within Legacy Leaders, our bigger, like the full hub that we're a part of.
Mhm.
And the foundry is all about refinement. It's like we're all choosing to come and hop in this fire, and like we're in the hot zone, being refined by honestly the empowerment, the love, the vision that the leaders have for us. They believe in us, and they give us a space to exercise our voice. That they're not saying, hey, do what I do. It's like, no, this is what I'm doing. Let it stir within you what's already inside of you, and practice that. Um,
Mhm.
Let me
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I was thinking of a voice memo that Kelsey said. I'll say this. She has this flow of just dropping voice notes like throughout the day,
Mhm.
coaching us. And she talked about, uh, I don't know why I had a point and I've kind of lost it, but she said, man, I hate when
Uh,
that happens.
it's
But
okay. It'll come back.
I listened
Actually,
to it today. Like I was taking a shower, I was listening to what she said, but um,
mhm.
essentially, we'll move on. But
Yeah,
essentially, like,
I wanted to jump in actually.
yeah, go. It'll
Yeah,
come
yeah,
back.
yeah. I actually, what you're saying about the foundry, about
Yeah,
all the different pieces of yourself, we're all coming into the pot,
yeah,
and we're creating steel, something firm, something with clarity. And I really love that, especially what you said about Kelsey dropping in those voice audios.
Yeah.
It's amazing. About so in the foundry with this business, wouldn't it be nice to get some nuggets to kind of get inside the head of somebody who's making, six figures, half over $500,000. Like, I want to know what she's thinking. And
Yeah.
she's doing that for free,
Yeah.
right? There's so many voice notes I have, and I'm always taking so many notes of what she's saying. One of the most impactful things that she said is like, your spouse is your first sale.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to just talk a tiny bit about that.
Go for it. Yeah.
It really stood out to me, Rachel. And I know for you, you have like your own story with Nelson, and how he was like. Actually, I kind of want to share like from my end,
Yeah.
hearing that, because when you told me that, like, even Nelson heard from God about the company,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, like
He
this gives
didn't
me.
tell me too. I'll just add that. Like he lets me walk my own journey. He's like,
Yeah.
she's gonna hear.
Yeah, but it gave me so much confirmation, because your husband, he's such a, not just a man of God, but his voice, and I really just trust like his input. So whenever he says something about a company or a person, it's like, okay, like I know he has some insider information on what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so yeah, your spouse is your first sale, and when Kelsey was making that voice note, I was like, wow, like wouldn't it be nice, like for everybody in the foundry, for their spouse to really be behind what they're doing, to really support their endeavors, because a lot of people in the business, like, sometimes it is hard to find your voice. Sometimes it is hard to find your flow. You have to experiment, right? And Kelsey just said, yeah, like even for her story, there was moments where there might not have been a lot of traction for a week, maybe not a lot of buyers, maybe just the content didn't really hit as well as she thought. And she was talking to her husband Matt, and like her frequency, her energy when talking to her spouse. Sometimes it wasn't some high energy. Sometimes it was really low energy. It was sometimes it Matt, her husband, might have felt some animosity, like maybe not intentionally, but if you're pushing that negative energy, sometimes you're gonna receive
Yeah,
it
I know
back.
what you're talking. I remember saying this. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's the same thing, um, with even making content. Like, guys, I want to have high energy. I want to have joy, and to feel relaxed, to not feel stressed before making like a story. It's like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna hit, but let's just give her a go. There's not so much of that when you're working in the foundry, when you're a part of this community, because there's so much opportunity to share even your content even before posting it.
Yeah.
um, that's something that I like about it. But I know Kelsey is saying recently, like, guys, it's a good thing, but y'all just have to trust yourself. is
Yeah.
what she said.
That was the point I was trying to remember in the voice note that she made, was about
Yeah.
the common themes among successful people is that they trust themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's the influence of the foundry, is trust yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, her latest audio was talking about that. She was just, noticing some of the newer people jumping in and getting results. And she was trying to figure out, like, yeah, what's the difference between some of these newer people, um, and some of the people who are struggling to find results. And it's funny, like even for me, like I know my Enneagram, I know my personality types. I'm very results oriented. So
Yeah.
even for me, even when there's not too many results for a week, I can always reframe and learn and just abide and confide with these high class people, where they're so encouraging. They really believe in you. They really believe in us. And I just want to say, like, if there's anybody listening, if you're curious about the business, like, please reach out to either like Rachel or myself, and we'd be really happy to share more about how this has changed our lives. But
Yeah.
to share more about the products too, the business opportunity, I'm loving it, right? And it's not for everybody, because some people, like, they're just not ready. They might not believe in themselves, but if there are people like listening where you feel, guys, like there must be something more. I feel like I was made for more in this life. I feel like I do have a message to share. I feel like I do have an exodus in some way to exit either my career, which is pretty drastic, right? Like that's a really big move. That's something that I did, or
Yeah.
an exodus from other mentalities where it's like, where you don't know if you actually can make 4 figures a month, or 5 figures a month.
Mm.
Because in this job, we can easily make 3, 4, 5 figures in a sale, right?
Mhm.
And it gets better and better. So if there's anybody like who this story, this live is really resonating with, please reach out to us. We
Yeah.
genuinely care about you all who are listening and the people who are about to listen. I know that every voice matters wherever you are, whatever career you're in. And y'all, like, you don't even have to quit your job to work in this business. Um, Honestly, it can be done like 2 to 4 hours a day. If you really want to go for it, just 4 hours a day. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on my end. I'm just so blessed to be here with you, Rachel. If you have any other, we don't have to close right now, but we can keep talking
Yeah.
if you want, like whatever you want to flow in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelsey, I just saw your note, and for some reason, since I started it in StreamYard, it's not letting me put it public. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I didn't even realize it's on private. But
Funny.
yeah, the thing I'm loving is realizing that business doesn't have to be stressful.
Mm,
It can be a free flow of just like, I love something Kelsey says. She's like, I'm obsessed with my business. She's like,
right.
I love my business. It's an outlet. Like, it's where I get to express myself. Like, that reality, like, I feel like I had to like not settle in a bunch of places prior to coming here. I talked about my journey yesterday of like
Mm-hmm.
wading through all kinds of stuff, and like people it's almost like my own insecurity would make me like make somebody be in a place that they shouldn't have been in my life, where it's like I have to do it their way, or like this is how you get to success. This is just the way it is. You got to do it this way. And like being able to like step back from a lot of things and be like, that doesn't feel right. There's a better way. There is a way to do business and rest. There is a way to do it in joy, like you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
for it to be healthy, for it to be something that's literally like, when you're a part of something like this, every part of your life is going to get better. Things unrelated, your relationships, like everything, it has that effect. And that's so important. I think culture and the community is actually what's needed most in business, because if it was just about the money, we'd be making money. But like, people are plugged into something that is draining them, that's taking something from them. So it's like a trade, you know? And yeah, so I'm loving the discovery of like who I am in this space. And it's like God reminding me, this doesn't require you to become something else to get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just be who you are. Speak what's actually in your heart and share your belief. Share your actual belief about what you're doing. Like, that's what made me not stick to all these other companies. I believed in it until I saw the cracks. How do you promote something you can't believe in? Like, now you're just like, it's kind of evil a little bit.
Yeah, that's so true. It's just for the money. Yeah, there's a lot of compromise
Yeah.
in businesses, in even in high ticket, right?
Yeah.
I want to touch on what you said about really crafting yourself and becoming yourself. You mentioned something briefly about that. I remember taking vocal lessons online, but there was this guy, and actually there was a testimonial where he's like, I didn't know that by taking lessons for my voice
Mm-hmm.
to be a better singer, I thought I'd be sounding like somebody else, but really, so the vocal teacher said, I'm gonna make you sound more like you ever before. And that's what I'm feeling, honestly, Rachel, in this business, where, and I'm still stepping into it too. You know, I've I've seen just different releases of fears just coming off just by showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I don't show up like every day, even when I have daily goals, like, look, I'm still learning my flow, and I've come to learn, hey, like, it's okay to like take a rest day once in a while, because if you're not feeling like you have something really awesome or really impactful to share, then yeah, like it might not be, but it might be.
Yeah.
we're always trained, like, always show up, always say something,
Or
but
it's kind of like digging deeper is what I'm finding. Not to interrupt you. Like I'm finding when my energy's low, it's like, what is true right now?
yeah.
As long as what I'm saying is true.
Hmm.
That's sometimes true. I don't know if that's always right too, but yeah. I'm finding, I will say in my own, this is a me thing. It's like realizing that if I think I'm valued for this type of expression, then I'm like shamefully pulling away when really like there's freedom for me to realize like, no, I'm lovable here too. I'm valuable here too. What I have to share, other people relate to it. So it's like, I think if it's something that, if it's rooted in the heart of like, I'm giving of myself, I think that's always positive.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I love when you can combine that
yeah.
with the obsession, to be obsessed
Yeah.
with your job, kind of like what you were talking about before. And I was hanging out with a really really good friend of mine actually just last night. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
But we were in high school together. We inspired each other to play music. I was a drummer, and he was playing guitar and bass guitar. But anyway, his name is Eric. Wonderful friend, great guy, and he is obsessed with guitar,
Yeah.
with all kinds of music, mainly like bluegrass right now. He's in a big bluegrass phase, but he's killing it.
Mhm.
I was asking him, like, how did you make it all work out? Because I'm curious about the business side. I'm curious about I want to know what's going on inside a high income earner's head, right? So I'm always asking these questions. So I was
Yeah.
asking my buddy Eric, like, um, like what really was it? Like, we talked about a lot of things, but I was like, what really is it for you that keeps you going? And he's like, it's obsession. I breathe guitar. I
Mhm.
I everything guitar. And
Yeah.
the cool thing was, like, I was hearing about how many hours he's working. He's working a lot of hours on a good month. He's making, I think it was 7 or 8 grand or something a month. So guys, like, if you really go for something with all of your heart, like all your soul, all your mind, all your strength, you're bound to see results. However, sometimes the container and the vehicle that you're in, while giving it everything you got, like, sometimes let's talk about the vehicle. Like, if you're
Let's
driving,
go.
if
Yeah.
you're driving a smart car,
Yeah.
compared to a Lamborghini, which one is gonna actually go faster? Which one is gonna get to your destination a lot quicker?
Mhm.
And it's the Lamborghini. And that's
Mhm.
what the
Yeah.
job that we're working with Enagic. It
Yeah.
is definitely a vehicle where you can leave behind so many so many lies that you believed about yourself. So many lies, even, like, that people have said about you, where you have to let them go, where they might call you crazy. they might say, "Oh, this sounds like a scheme," or they might say, like, "I don't know, Isaiah. I think you're pushing something that doesn't actually work." And I've gone through that, a bit of that, last month, and it wasn't fun,
Mm-hmm.
but you learn from it. You don't. It's not just about developing thick skin. I don't want to say that's what method or the approach is when dealing with opposition in your life. But really, surround yourself with the voices of support, with the voices of affirmation, with the voices of belief. And even if there's only a couple voices um, lifting you up, the most important encouragement that you can receive is from yourself, I think, and from God, but especially from yourself. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't believe that you can earn money online, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be very difficult.
You can't.
It's
Yeah.
just the whole thing is a battle of the mind, right?
Yeah.
Even in the latest Kelsey's voice audio for, I think it was last night, talking about the power of the common theme within successful people. It is belief.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have faith in yourself to do something, why not take a chance? Why not take a risk? And sometimes there's high risk, sometimes there's low risk, but whenever there is a really, really good opportunity, or whenever you just need some change in your life, sometimes that requires risk
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to say goodbye to the old methods. I'm
Yeah.
kind of hopping back and forth from what I've already
Yeah.
shared before, but I really feel like people need to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you brought up about the vehicle, being in the right vehicle. Can it contain where you're going? Like for the full picture. I didn't want to be a part of a company that I'm like, okay, I'm maxed out. That's all I can make. Like
Yeah.
I wanted let's actually talk about this because I know you have a lot of vision for business that becomes businesses that becomes businesses that leads
Mhm.
to this, that like that sense of like expansion that's not limited.
Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
a reality that was cool to see like for the long term, because like even we can talk about immortality. I'll like slide that in. Like I don't plan on dying any like that ain't that ain't in my vision. So
Yeah.
but that being said, the long term of what you're doing, like that's one thing I love about this company is the current like top people who've been like building this the longest. They're billionaires, not millionaires. And just to speak of like empire, like what is possible here of impact. If you were to pick a business model to grow in, do you want a ceiling? I don't. And yeah, and
Yeah.
this is kind of bigger, but just speaking about like world change is
Mhm.
so a part of my why, that like I know that we're responsible as sons of God to transform the world, and that requires finances. Like we
Yeah.
can't omit money. Like if you want change, you've got to have the resources. And I see this business as a vehicle to start other businesses, to um, you can
Mhm.
you can feed the poor. You can do whatever is needed in the world. Business is the vehicle. Pretty much. I mean, there's other things, but business is how we actually create change. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
in the world. So I just wanted to bring that up as well.
Yeah, that sounds like, because you and I talked briefly in our last, I think it was our last business meeting,
Yeah.
about projects. Like,
Yeah.
what's the bigger vision? Like, because right now we're in this company, we're just starting, we're learning the ins and outs, but beyond that, what's the grander scope?
Mm.
And for me, yeah, it's definitely music. I have a huge, huge passion for music. Obsessed with, like, I don't know, just different artists. I love Michael Jackson. I love music that actually is it lasts a lifetime, no matter what era it is. It will always sound good. And I want to be able to make some of that and to provide a message of hope, a message of just even something against the grain, because there's a lot of messages out there, whether it's you see it in social media or blogs or even in the school system. I just know that I have to release a greater love, a message to all of you people about how there is more. There is more for your life. There is more for your health. There is more for your soul healing as well. Like a lot of you um are believing the lie, like there's a misconception that you have to carry trauma within yourself for all of the years of your life, and that's not the case at all. You can really heal. So I want to provide a message of healing, um the gospel that is too good to be true, not just the gospel that we hear in church,
Yeah.
but the true gospel, where you are a Christ, where you are a savior. All of you listening, you are a savior, to a great, great capacity. No matter where you are in your life, I just want to say, like, there's love, there's hope, there's so much joy, there's so much peace, and yeah, that's a part of the projects that I want to work on. I want to make some albums that really portray the message, for healing the world. And then I definitely want to just develop businesses where I can teach on the mindset of business. I'm loving what I'm hearing, from Kelsey and from Kendra and from the other people who are, whether they're 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, and
Yeah.
beyond. Like, I don't care what rank they are in the
Yeah.
business. Everybody is sharing something it's fire.
Yeah.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
And then other projects, really quick. Definitely, well, number one, to provide the best water in the world, and that's the number one project for me right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly. And maybe even because when you do that, if you're getting um, this machine into like the schools or into the gym where people are working out, or baristas, cafes, like imagine how better the coffee is gonna taste with
Yeah.
actual pure water flooded with antioxidants. Like,
Yeah.
guys, like, so anyway, I want to say, just for projects, just one thing at a time. That's what I will say, but
Yeah.
definitely want to work with millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. Any final thoughts? Just
Wow.
anything you feel like you want to share to somebody who's been listening and they have something burning in their heart, and yeah, what would you tell them?
I would just say, take a chance on yourself, and really, if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck and waking up year after year, doing the same thing over and over again. And if that's you, please reach out to me. Please reach out to Rachel. And we provide hope. We are people of light in the midst of darkness. And there's so much darkness around. And that's the thing, like with our businesses, we are a light in the darkness. We are saviors for people. And that might sound, I don't know, that might sound arrogant to some people, but honestly, like I don't care. I really believe in what I'm saying,
Yeah.
where if you have a life where things are just, you're grinding, you're putting in the effort, maybe you might even like your job, right? But I'm not saying like what I'm doing is better. I'm just saying, I've found a method of freedom in so many avenues in my life. And if you would love to learn more about that, yeah, I'd be happy to share more about how it's changed my life and what we're doing, to talk about if there's an opportunity for you, because it might not be, right? It's not for everybody, but it's changed my life. And just keep if there's anybody who's kind of on the fence, just keep watching us. Keep
Mm-hmm.
watching and watch us move. Watch us move mountains. And thank you all for your support. Thank you for the supporting voices.
Yeah.
Well, those are my final thoughts. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been amazing. Thank you for sharing your story today. And it's been so encouraging to me, as always. And it's just good to share, kind of like we've been powwowing, and for people to hear your heart. And
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks again, everybody who joined in, who commented. Thank you all for your support. And again, if you're interested at all in the product, to learn more about the water or the business, reach out to either one of us, and we'd love to have a conversation. And until next time, see y'all.
See ya. Wow. That was amazing.